What's going on? I'm gonna wait about 15-20 seconds for people to get into the live stream. Thank you for joining. Hope you're having a good weekend and whatnot. Just give me about 10-15 seconds for everybody to come in. Please share this video if you agree at the end. Tag somebody, spark a discussion, bring people together, whatnot. But give me a few seconds for people to get in, and I want to explain what's going on, not only in the world in America, but in my personal life per se. I'll start personally. I posted a picture, bad timing, I would say a day or two ago, saying I was taking a break. Not to be dramatic, I just need a break mentally and physically. I work a full-time job. I'm always on the computer. I do videos to try to help people bring both sides together. I've been pretty successful in that. I've got yelled at a lot, mostly love, but I was just overwhelmed physically and mentally. And it's not just from people on one side or the other. It's actually even supporters of mine, both on the right and the left. Just being a little overwhelming. Everything I say now, it gets hundreds of thousands of comments, and people psychoanalyze me, what I'm wearing, what I'm doing. It's a little stressful, to be honest, reading all these comments, because I deeply care about everybody and I'm trying to listen to everyone's concerns. It's just a barrage of just too much information, too many opinions, too much hate, too much negativity, too much, paranoia. Anomaly, help me. I'm getting 60 messages a day. So I would say, if you love me, if you love this platform, please try to be an enlightening, uplifting source to me. Don't be a draining source, whether you're a supporter or, whatever. And now I want to talk about, of course, what's going on in the world, in America. And I want to first off say I condemn any sort of hate, violence, or negativity, drama. Anybody that's killing someone else, driving a car into somebody, they're pathetic, they're disastrous, they should be charged to the full extent. And we need to drive the message home that you can't start violence in America, in the world. We can't do this. We can't let politicians do it. We can't let the media do it. We can't do it ourselves. From fringe groups on the right or fringe groups on the left, violence is unacceptable. This neo-Nazi and supremacist ideology is unacceptable. If you think you're better than somebody because of your skin color, you're a pathetic, disgusting individual. It's absolutely bizarre and ridiculous to me, and I don't support it clearly from any person, any race, any religion. It's bananas. These are the things that divide us. It's called tribalism. I'm this, I'm that. This is my color. This is my religion. This is my country. This is my culture. To me, maybe it's because I'm Italian, Polish, and Puerto Rican. My stepfather's Mexican. My sister is now married and about to have babies with someone from the Caribbean, very dark. All beautiful people. Anybody who's traveled all over the world, you understand that every culture, all people are very similar, and everybody has something to add with culture, with medicine, with food. You can learn from everything. So it's totally ignorant. And I condemn white supremacy in America. I condemn neo-Nazis. I condemn Antifa, who just want to punch people in the face and call everyone Nazis. But here's the thing. We have to get to the truth to solve things. If there are neo-Nazis and white supremacists killing people, we need to get to the core of that and stop these people. Let them know it's unacceptable to think you're supreme because of your culture or your race or your religion. It's unacceptable. We can't have it. It has no place. So that's first of all. We need to condemn that. But when it comes to these stories, you have to understand there's an ancient saying. It's not what happens, it's how people react. And people, rightfully so. I want people on the right to listen to me now. I know you guys appreciate me. I've stood up for conservatives and Republicans and whatnot. I've stood up for progressives, but listen to me now. We need to understand that people have legitimate concerns. I'm talking to everybody. I'm listening to people hate Trump, and a lot of people hate Donald Trump for reasons that are understandable. Is it overhyped by the media? Could Donald Trump do a better job? Yes and yes. He could do a way better job, and the media could do a better job. Everybody is slipping up. But people have legitimate concerns. People have legitimate concerns with religion. People have legitimate concerns with race. People have legitimate concerns with the environment. Everybody's not a snowflake. Everybody's not the enemy. Everybody's not a socialist. Everybody's not a communist. There are people that are left-leaning, that are social-leaning, that are LGBT and black and Latino and, whatever. I could care less what shade of skin or what culture you're identified to. People have legitimate concerns. So this sense of the right is right about everything or the left is right about everything, it's ridiculous. And it breeds this type of supremacy. It breeds this type of hate. It's totally unacceptable. I condemn it from the right. I'm seeing it a lot now that my videos are getting bigger for Donald Trump. I see that same ignorance that I always talk about on the left. I see it with the right. It's just all people are ignorant. Every race, every religion, every culture has good people, people that are wise, people that are friendly, people that are kind, and every culture has ignorant people who are hateful, who are judgmental, who are ignorant. And we have to get past this. So to the right, stop calling everybody communists. Listen to them, hear their concerns, and we need to work together. On the left as well, with people like Antifa, it often gets underreported. There's been a lot of violence, maybe no deaths yet, but they're shutting down free speech. There's violence, there's hate. It's like a clash made in heaven or hell, where you go to these events. I don't even want to go because, one, nobody's listening, nobody's talking, nobody's learning. It's just like a fight of two violent negative sides, and it's disgusting. Whether the ideology is racist or sexist or xenophobic or just straight ignorant, you don't want to listen to people, because that's where I've been very critical as well. To the left, everything is not racist. There are specific racist people and there are specific white supremacists. Hold them accountable. If you are a white supremacist in America in 2017, you should be responsible for your actions and words. If you feel that way and you speak out about that, you have to deal with the blowback 100%. But we can't group everybody in when something happens. When something happens on the left, I don't group every one of my friends in that's liberal, or every one of my friends that is left-leaning and cares about the environment. It's those specific assholes, because there's assholes on every political side. There's assholes of every race and every religion. And same with, we've done it with terrorism. We've used the word terrorism to terrorize, whole shades of skin and whole cultures, whole religions. We've used this broad term and we've thrown it at people. We do it with the media all the time. When something happens and someone's white, it's everybody's fault that has the same similar views as him. If you're a neo-Nazi and a white supremacist, that's your fault. You're part of that. But not everybody who supports Donald Trump is a neo-Nazi and a white supremacist. And also, to solve this problem of these ignorant people, we need to put the spotlight on them, on the problem. I've seen hundreds of thousands of retweets, millions of shares from fake videos, from fake pictures of Donald Trump Photoshop. This is not going to help. There's a guy named Joey Salads. It's going around the internet now. He's a loser. He's a YouTuber who does pranks, a lot of times race baiting pranks and religious baiting pranks, but he makes the whole thing up. So Joey Salads went to another Trump rally with a neo-Nazi sign on, and all the Trump supporters kicked him out because they're like, dude, get away. Now people are taking pictures. That picture has been surfacing. We need to use the pictures of the people, find out their origins, their intentions. We can't just group everybody in with fake pictures. So that's another thing that's bothering me with what's happening, is we have to be honest about it. I'm very clear with my condemnation of any type of ignorance and racism and sexism and bigotry, but we can't just slip in that direction just because a group of people, and I see it happening. I see the most terrible people in the United States of America, the most terrible politicians, the most awful human beings, the most awful journalists getting tens of twenties of thousands of shares now because of this event. Now they're the hero. That's how they play you. There's not even 1% of me that's okay with racism and ignorance and bigotry and supremacy. There's not even 1% of me that likes that. I can't stand it. I do think there are small portions of the political side that are in that element, and I will tell them I don't support it. But we can't flock to these politicians, because literally this is how they start wars. And the right is guilty of it and the left's guilty of it. But you have left-leaning politicians now. It's like they got their arms open. Run to me, run to me. I'm not saying to be okay with it. I'm not saying to go along with it. Fight for your rights. Stand up. There's no sort of violence that should be acceptable publicly in the United States, but don't run to these journalists and run to these politicians who don't care about you. They're using these events for a political agenda, and the right wing does it too. The left wing does it as well, but this is how we start wars. I mean, with 9/11, regardless of how it happens, I'm not a forensic specialist, so I don't know what happened and where, but we used that to start a war in the Middle East from people that it was completely unrelated to. We took that small group of people who did that and had a plot, and we applied it to a bunch of countries and a bunch of people who had nothing to do with it. That was a mistake. I didn't like George Bush. I appreciated Barack Obama and gave him time, but when I'm looking back on what he did, I'm not that thrilled with it either. And now it comes to Donald Trump. I'm watching what he's doing, not just what's being said, not what's being said by the media, what's being pressed. And I do think there needs to be a condemnation for racism. There needs to be a strong attack at it, but we have to understand, we have to be rational and smart. We have to. I pray, because when you go in the streets, when you talk to people, you see one of two things. You see one thing, everybody's on the same page. Everybody wants food and family and health and prosperity. We're all the same. If anybody travels or has friends from other cultures, you will understand we're all the same. We just have little gems, little secrets, little recipes, different women. It's a beautiful thing. This world is incredible. We must not use that to our disadvantage. We must use that to our advantage and respect of all of our people. And that's my real mission with these videos. I'm trying to bring both sides together to realize we have the same goals. You get to these goals when you converse, have conversations, and are open-minded. I know people on the left and the right, no matter what I say, they're not going to listen to me. There's nothing I can say that will change their minds. That's just the way it is. But let's not forget, we're all the same. And there's another thing that I've noticed going around. We need to be the change. We need to set the precedent. People say, you did this, you did that. I never vote because I don't care. I think it's all a failure. I think it's all smoke and mirrors. I think it's all lies. And I gave Donald Trump a chance to be the outsider, the president, and he's in there. And I'm still watching his moves in the Middle East. I'm watching what he does in Syria. I'm watching what he does here. And it's not quite translating with how the media is portraying it. And that's how I feel. It has nothing to do with racism or sexism. I'm looking at the big picture. And I also know during Barack Obama's 7.5 years, I said nothing because I know one person's not going to change the world. I wasn't hating. I wasn't yelling. I wasn't screaming. I wasn't being racist or sexist or xenophobic. I was focused on myself because I know through music, through videos, through my passion, through artwork, we change the world. We influence people. If people are in a community and there's no hate and there's no bigotry and there's no violence in that community, doesn't matter what the politicians say because everybody's on the same page. But if we constantly divide ourselves into these little stupid groups and fight till the end of time, we're going to be fighting by the end of time. If you align yourself with a race and you think, oh, I'm white, so I'm supreme and I'm the best and everyone's terrible, then you're an asshole, you're a scumbag, and you're ruining it for everybody. If you're any other race and you say, this is my race and I'm proud of this and I hate everybody else from the other race, doesn't matter what color you are, that's a stupid move and you're holding everybody back, you're holding yourself back. You're not going to learn, you're not going to hear cool music, you're not going to eat good food, you're not going to learn wisdom and knowledge and medicine from all these cultures, because that's what you do when you talk to people. You're like, oh my God, why would I hate these people? They're just like me, they just have a different story, a different perspective. You're not going to get any of that. And it's frustrating to see my friends, my family, brothers and sisters dividing themselves. Let's hold these people accountable. When someone slaps somebody over the head for no reason at a protest, when somebody goes to bring hateful ideas and violence to a place and hit people with cars, let's hold those people accountable. I'm 120% behind it. But what I'm not behind is this negativity, and this is how they get us. Terror attack, there goes religion. Attack in Charlotte, there goes race. Attack LGBT trans in the military, there goes gender. Race, gender, religion, this happens time and time and time and time and time and time again, and I'm not prescribing to it. I love people of all shades of skin. I love people from all cultures. I'm interested in listening. I'm trying to hear how people feel. I'm trying to understand why people feel that way, and if it's a negative and ignorant way, I'm trying to change it. I have no tolerance for BS from any side. And guess what? It's all of us. It's me. It's you. Nobody is above it. If you start to think you're above it, that's how you get this supremacist ideology, and that's how we get the ignorance in the first place. When you think it's everybody but me, that's why I'm against the victimization of a lot of things, where I think we need to fix certain things core, but we can't all act innocent, because then we're always pointing the finger, and then we'll become part of the problem. Everything in life matters. How you treat somebody, how you treat someone at the coffee shop. If you take an Uber or Lyft, how do you treat the driver? How do you treat the garbage man? How do you treat your manager? How do you treat your neighbors? These are things that matter. This is how we change the world on a level. We are the change. You show 10 people that are ignorant and hateful, you show them that they're the problem. You show them that there's love from your side and kindness and understanding and listening. That hate a lot of times goes away. It's been successful in racism. It's been successful in sexism and bigotry. When you listen and you show that person that they're completely foolish with your actions, they have no choice but to abandon it or become isolated. I mean, how could you live in the world? I've lived in cities. I love rural areas. I love hiking. That's why I took a break. I was trying to take a break longer. I like to relax in nature. I like to enjoy myself. I don't like all the stress, but at the same time, it's a balancing act. We need the right and we need the left. We need our eco-conscious people. We need our social conscious people, but we also need our conservative people who want to hold core values that a lot of politicians from the left will use the democracy and socialism to lie, to use race, gender, and religion, and come swipe it from everybody. So we need our conservatives. We need our left. We need our environment and social friendly, but we don't need hate from the left. We don't need racism and sexism and lack of understanding, because there's a lot of people on the left too that just won't listen. You say this, they say everybody's neo-Nazis, everybody's racist, everybody's sexist, nobody cares. No, there's hundreds of millions of people that are in debt. There's hundreds of millions of people who can't afford health insurance. There's hundreds of millions of people who want better food, who, don't have the medicine that they want. There's hundreds of millions of reasons to vote a bunch of different ways. They gave us two options. I don't care if you love Donald Trump, or if you loved Hillary Clinton, or if you love Bernie Sanders, or if you didn't like anybody. I don't think anybody asked for this result of Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump. This was not a wish of anybody's. I can't imagine in my life to be like, hey, let's go Donald Trump versus Hillary Clinton. No matter who I gave preference to at what point in the election, that's not a situation that anyone asked for. And it's insane. It's absolutely insane from either side to act like all the complexities of the world, all the races, the religions, and cultures, and wars, and food, and economy, and jobs, all of these things can be broken into two sides. This side's right, this side's wrong. And that's what people are doing with this event. That's what's happening with this election. And that's why I've used my platform to stand up for conservatives and stand up for the President of the United States. It's not because I'm racist or sexist or xenophobic. It's because I care. And I know that there's politicians from the left who are using these incidences. These are tragedies, which either they're organic or sometimes they're literally created during the election, whether you're left or right leaning. They used operative to send people to start violence at rallies, to then film it and then blast it out. This happened. This was caught on camera. They admitted they paid mentally ill people to go to rallies, to start violence, to film it, and then to blame everybody. So be very cautious, no matter if you're left or right, what side you lean on, because I will say it time and time again, I don't care what race or political party or culture you're part of. I don't care. I'm not a part of any. And this is my outward, blast to all news sources, because I have yet to be attacked. I have yet to have a hit piece on me by news stations. And most people at my size with my platform have been attacked viciously and given labels that they're not part of. So this is my public broadcast. I'm not a conservative. I'm not a Republican. I'm not a Democrat. I'm not a progressive. I'm not an independent. I'm not alt-right. I'm not alt-left. I'm not libertarian. I'm nothing. So don't dare try to use me as an example and misquote something that I say and say, oh, he's alt-right, or oh, he's a communist in disguise, or he's doing this. I'm nothing. I'm an American who thinks this is all BS. I think it's all lies. I think it's all smoke and mirrors, and I think it's all a big trick to get people mad. And it's not even a trick that politicians and media have to do. We do it to ourselves. You look at a basketball court, or you look at a club, or you look at this and that. People fight every single day with nobody there. We do it to ourselves. The media does it because we click on it. You talk about this, what incentive does the media have to not have an event like this happen? What incentives? Because yesterday, their revenue probably went up 1,000%. And now everybody's tuned in. And Kirk Eichenwald, Wild Boy on Twitter is getting 20,000 retweets, and he's a star. You're making terrible people celebrities. So what incentive have we given the news? What incentive have we given politicians? Have we given Donald Trump? Have we given Hillary Clinton? Have we given Jill Stein? Bernie Sanders? We give them no incentive, because something like this happens, they all go off on their side. Bernie Sanders, Jill Stein, Hillary Clinton, Kirk Eichenwald, Donald Trump, and we feed into it. So we're giving them no incentive to not do stuff like this, to not have this happen. We cause this stuff. We do this in our own time. We do this in our own communities. It's us. That's why people say they. Who's they? Sometimes I'm talking about the media. Sometimes I'm talking about politicians, but overall, they is us. We are them. It's all of us, because if we didn't subscribe to it, they wouldn't sell it to us. If we didn't watch BS news and watch fake news, they wouldn't give us fake news. If we didn't eat fake food, we wouldn't get fake food. If we didn't prescribe to fake medicine, we wouldn't get fake medicine. It's all on our minds, and that's what I try to do with this platform. I took a break because I'm mentally and physically exhausted. People hyper-analyze every single thing I do. What's he doing there? What's his picture with that? What's this? What's he wearing? How's his hair look? Oh, you are this. Oh, you didn't stand up for this. Oh, you don't think like me. I'm all about freeing your mind. I'm trying to spread love and knowledge and wisdom and culture to everyone, because I know every person, no matter what skin color you are, no matter what race or religion or gender you are, you can benefit from knowledge, you can benefit from wisdom, you can benefit from truth, you can benefit from seeing someone else's perspective, and that's 100% what I'm about. So I don't want to be attacked by people who say they support me. I don't want to be attacked by people who are mad at me, because if you're mad at me, you're mad at yourself, because I don't care. And that's the point I'm not saying I don't care, I do care, but I'm saying I don't care about getting attacked every single day 100 times. I could go do something else. I do this out of the love. I do this because I do care on a full extent, but when a million people try to drag me down and drag each other down with events like this, it makes me just want to move on an island or a mountain somewhere, because I know it's not the politicians, and I know it's not the media. It's on a ground level, and I know it's not just the left. I know it's the right. I can see it. I see it for myself. It's not just left people who attack me just because I've been supporting conservatives. It's conservatives and people who are right-leaning who get on my nerves just as much, if not sometimes more. And that's fine. I know I'm going to get it from both sides. What I'm trying to say, the point I'm trying to get across is the change is us. And we can't just divide like crabs in a bucket, because we're at a point right now, we can either ascend, we have infinite possibilities, we have the universe, we have technology. These are the greatest times to be alive. We have water, we have shelter. We're truly grateful. Are we going to figure it out? Are we going to help people? Are we going to go forward and move to a part where we all understand that's the direction we're going in? You look at these cities. Now we have food. We have Thai food, we have Mexican food, we have Italian food, we have all of these things. When you come to a city, you get the best of all cultures. Now you have people doing yoga and meditation and drinking tea. We're taking the great things from Asian cultures. We're taking the great things from Latino cultures. It's a perfect blend right now if you're in that mindset. And if you're in another mindset, it's a war. And everybody, I see all sides doing it. Even people that I've previously supported, like Alex Jones. I think Alex Jones tells a lot of truth sometimes, but I'm watching him now. He's playing the same game as the left. He's screaming war and he's being divisive. It's his fault too. It's people on the left who are screaming war. They're starting it. I see it so clearly now. It's everybody. And I could do a better job as well on certain videos. I'm one person. I have one cell phone. I have one computer that's 6 years old and half broken. I'm pouring my heart and my soul into everything I do. I work a full-time job. I like to work out and play sports and go to the beach and hang out with my friends. I don't like to do this all the time. I tried to take a break this weekend, and I got hit with one of the craziest media crises and on foot, in person, deaths in a long time. This is not what I want to be dealing with, but I do it because I care. I see what's happening. I see what's happening on the left. I see what the Democratic politicians are doing. I see what the media is doing. I see what the Republicans are doing. I see how it's a whole polarizing thing, and we feed into it. Why do we subscribe to it? Why do we feed into it? So on that note, to wrap everything up, I want to say I condemn white supremacy 10,000%, more than even people from the left. I condemn violence. I condemn hate. I'm not alt-right, I'm not alt-left, I'm not Republican or Democrat or conservative or whatever. I'm nothing. I'm just watching this all happen, and I'm just dumbfounded how throughout history we keep making the same mistakes, and people on the left are justified in the sense of their fear and paranoia, as are people on the right. I see why both sides are worried. It's because in history we always do the same dumb things. So that's my message to people. Are we going to ascend? Are we going to grow and learn as we have been doing? Albeit we've hit some road bumps and it's got weird. It's got a lot better if that's your vision. If you're looking at the negative, you're going to find it. So let's condemn violence. Let's condemn supremacy. Let's condemn hate and ignorance. Let's have real conversations. Let's stop labeling people. Let's stop labeling ourselves. You're more than just a word. You're more than just a group. No matter what color you are or how you feel about the environment or how you feel about politics, you're more than that. Even if you label yourself that, you're more. Because you could talk to 10,000 conservatives and get 10,000 different stories and 10,000 different reasons that someone's that way. You talk to 10,000, liberals or people on the left or whatever you want to call yourself, you get 10,000 different stories and 10,000 different reasons for the reason that they feel that way. And a lot of them are justified. A lot of their environmental and racial causes are justified. The question now is, how do we solve it? Because on both sides, when you become irrational and emotional and just scream and yell and fight, this is the type of event you get in the streets. You get something like this where you have the fringe ignorances from both sides meeting in the street in front of a stupid statue, fighting like children. This is what's going to happen, and it's not going to stop until we change. Don't look at Donald Trump. Don't look at Hillary Clinton. Don't look at Kurt Eichenwald. Don't look at Twitter. Don't look at Facebook. Let's look at ourselves. Let's look at our community. What can we do to make it better? What can we do to keep the peace? What can we do to get a real message to people? Inspire our kids. It doesn't have to be through school. It doesn't have to be from politicians. I don't need their money. I don't need their resources. What can we do? Because we're the solution. We're the solution to the environment. We're the solution to social rights. Social rights changed because enough strong people stepped up and made it happen. And that needs to happen again, but we need to be truthful about it. We need to be real about it, and we need to get everybody on board. Because if everybody's not on board, it's not going to work. We're going to fight instead of rising. And that's where we're at right now. All people from the left are not communists. All people from the right are not Nazis. It's just their people's interpretation of this insane world that they grew up in. A lot of it has to do with the religion they were born into. A lot of it has to do with the parent structure and the environment and what school they went to and what music they listened to. All of these things play into it. And that's what my platform is. So don't mislabel me. Don't get it twisted. I'm trying to uplift, inspire, educate, do my part to make people feel happy, make people feel loved, make people feel appreciated, make people understand that they have the power. I don't care if you have no money in your bank or you're in debt. This is truly the age of anything happening. You can do anything no matter how many money or resources you have. We all have computers. You're watching me right now through a phone computer or a computer. It's the greatest time to be alive. Don't let these events keep you down no matter what you are, because that ideology of separation, of tribalism, this is what I am, I'm fighting for this team. That's what distracts us. That's what divides us. And if we don't do that, we can take event by event and really go at the root of the problem. But that's what we don't do. We go at the fringe of the problem, and we put a microscope on the fringe terrible people. You know, let's put a microscope on 0.0001% of the community, or 1% or 5%, whatever it is. We need to strategically X this out. And that's why I say this stuff, because I see what the left is doing, I see what the media is doing, and they're not doing it, they're making it worse. The media elected Donald Trump. The media gave him press and silenced Ron Paul and acted like Rand Paul didn't exist and did this and that and elevated Hillary Clinton. The media did that. The media made all this happen, and now they make it worse and keep turning people against each other. So that's the type of media I'm trying to be. I'm not okay with it, but we have to look at these things, because all of this stuff that I talked about, they happened. There's fake news being shared, there's fake articles, there's fake stories, there's been staged events. Not saying this is one, but these type of things happen. And if we're so emotional, we'll get trapped every single time, because they know one tragedy, news sales go up, they can do anything, they can go to war here, they can start this, they can do martial law. Do you want police in the streets? I don't. So relax. We all need to come together and make it better. We don't want government to intervene on this, because then we're done. That's how we get socialism. That's how we get communism. That's how we get Nazism, is when we lose it and we look up to these profound leaders, whether they're Democrat, Republican, or Donald Trump, for solutions. Don't leave it up to him. Don't leave it up to the military. Don't leave it up to police. We can do it. That's my message. Let's figure it out. Let's keep calm. Let's be smart about how we're going to X out this type of bigotry, because the wrong strategy will just keep increasing it. That's what I'm trying to say. I know, I see what's going on. I see how people are reacting, and the reaction from a lot of people is just as damaging, going to lead to more damage in the future, unless we get our stuff together, condemn these negative people from all sides, and exit out of society. We've made progress. There's no reason we should back down. We're not going to. We're a strong country. We're a strong world. And we're going to get peace. We're going to get prosperity. We're going to get love and freedom. We're not going back. Neither side wants to go back. Don't believe the hype. Don't believe the lies. Don't believe 10 people in the streets. I don't know who they're affiliated with. If they're affiliated with terrible organizations that believe in hate and judgment and basing off of skin color, then F them. They need to be X'd out of the equation. We're solving it. That's not acceptable from the left. That's not acceptable from the right. And we can get over it. We're strong, we're powerful, we're smart, we're more educated, we're more connected than ever. Let's not blow this. I see all of the blowback from it, and I truly pray for everybody. And also, even on my day off, I had to give this energy and this message to the people, because it's very, very important. And that's why I do this stuff. It's important to take a step back, not turn this into a sports game by race, religion, or political party, and realize we all want the same things. We just have different ways of achieving them. Thank you guys for listening. Let me know what you think in the comments, and God bless you and your family. Stay safe, stay happy, and stay conversing with people. Stop labeling people. Stop assuming everybody, millions of people think one way. Every single person is an individual. They have different thoughts. They have different reasons. Show them the light. Show them the love. Show them the truth. Show them wisdom, and let them make a change if they're being wrong, and keep them accountable if they're way out of line and endangering others. There's no place for violence in any spectrum. Thank you so much, and bless.